thing you need to do once your pasta's come together is just work it enough, just so it comes into a ball.
Now, did you leave that for a while to get it to that? I mean,
We
it
did.
was in cling film.
We did.
Would you recommend that people do that? Does it go in the fridge or?
Definitely. What happens is if we were to use Isaac's pasta straight away now, as lovely as it is, I'm sure, it would straight in the machine. It would dry out and it would crack.
Yeah.
So rolling it would be a real mission, and also cooking it wouldn't come out as well.
Right.
So we wrap it up, cling film. You could even just put it in a damp cloth into the fridge, and half an hour in the fridge. Once it's been in the fridge for half an hour, you take it out, and then you need to let it rest out as well. So it needs to get back to room temperature again.
Right.
Once it gets to that stage, it's quite easy to manipulate the shape of it into...
It looks quite pliable, and it does seem to be staying together. It's got quite a lot of elasticity to it.
That's it, yeah, it does. If it's like this before you put it in the machine, you're on to winner already.
Right.
So I'll show you how it goes through the machine now.
This being the pasta machine?
This is a pasta machine, yeah. This is a bigger one than the one that you'd probably have at home. If you're going to get one at home, they do the same make, the Imperial one. I think they're about £30 to buy at home.
Right.
So all it is just bigger, that's all. So I start off on the largest setting, just pop my pasta through it. And by doing that, you're actually kneading it as well. So it's what you do with your hands, except letting the machine do the work.
So this is sort of creating some sort of reaction in it that releases more to create more elasticity in it, is it? So it's staying together. Exactly.
So I just feed it through there. If you've got a clamp, use one, but mine's not working today, so I'll hold on to the machine. But the clamp does help you.
Right.
So once I get it flat, I just bring it back together again, and this is just stopping it from drying out. So I put it back into a square shape. By having a square shape at the start, you're giving yourself a fighting chance for the end. The squarer it is now, the easier your pasta will be to cut and trim at the end, and do whatever you want with it. So it goes back through as a square a couple of times, and then all that's left is for me to make that into the thickness or thinness that I want it.
Right.
So this is just a case of me putting it through the machine and changing the setting. I've got a setting on the side there. Changing the setting of the thickness of the pasta. So all it's about me doing now is putting it through and changing it every time.
So you're taking it down each time, a different level of thickness.
Exactly.
And what do you want to end up with? What's the sort of thickness for the pasta?
Well,
what sort of pasta are you going to make, by the way?
Well, I don't mind. We can make pappardelle or tagliatelle. Basically, they're strips. So it's just up to you what you prefer.
And what are you trying to get it down to?
Well, again, it's up to you. I mean, for me, if pasta's too thick, it almost tastes sort of doughy and floury. If you take your pasta quite thin, I find it's much nicer to eat. But then again, too thin, it just breaks up. So for me, I would say about number 1 on your pasta machine.
That's about 1 mil, isn't it? Something
exactly.
Like that?
Yeah, exactly.
And that's just getting bigger and bigger till you're going to need another pair of arms, which is probably where Isaac comes into.
I'll just ask Isaac to move up a bit to do it in the kitchen.
We can't get any further.
We've got a shed outside in the restaurant. And then once the pasta starts going, Isaac works in the shed. So.
And then, is that you hang it all out to dry? Is that right? So is that his job as well?
No, he stands there.
Impressive with the pasta.
Right.
Yeah, no, if you dry it out, for me, drying it out, it sort of defeats the object. We like to keep it nice and fresh, so we don't dry it out. We put it in the fridge as it is, so it's sort of wet. So what we do is we use polenta, actually. We lay polenta down on a tray, and what this does is stop it sticking, so it stays fresh, but doesn't stick to the tray, because if we just put it straight onto a tray, it would stick to it, and then Isaac would have a nightmare trying to get it off in the middle of service. So
that's your nightmare.